So is the screen visible? Is my screen visible? I'm asking. Okay, good morning, all of you. So in yesterday's class, we have seen different pop-up boxes. We have something called pop-up boxes. Let me tell you what is that pop-up boxes. So any small box kind of a window which will open above the existing browser window when you run your program. So such boxes are called as pop-up boxes. Yesterday we have seen some of the pop-up boxes. Let me show you an example. So now when I click on this button, the box is appearing above the existing browser window, right? So such boxes are called as pop-up boxes. So these pop-up boxes appear in Google Chrome this way at the top of your screen like this, at the center top of your screen. But in some browsers like Firefox, you open these pages, so look where it is appearing. It is appearing small in size when compared with that box that appeared with Google Chrome. And it is also not at the top of the screen. It is at the center, in the middle of your screen, the center of your screen. Right? So, but whatever may be the way, these boxes are called as pop-up boxes. Okay? So out of these pop-up boxes, yesterday we have seen two of them. First one is alert box. Second one is prompt box. And today we are going to see the third one, confirm box. So these are the three types of pop-up boxes we have in JavaScript. Out of these, we have seen alert box and prompt box already. The alert box, what it does is, it will simply alert. It is, as the name indicates, it is used to alert the user about a particular activity that is going to take place. So in that alert box, you'll just have a OK button. You'll not have any other buttons. But coming to prompt box, that small box that appears above your existing browser window, it will have two buttons, OK button and cancel button. And along with these two buttons, above the buttons, you will also have a text field where you can enter some value. You can also display a default value if you don't type anything by default. And when soon after you run the script, automatically that value will be shown in the text field. And if you want to give a different value other than that, you have to erase it and give a new value. So that also we have seen how to do that using the prompt. This is about alert and prompt box. Coming to the confirm box. Confirm box also has two buttons. It also has two buttons. Let me show you how to use this confirm box. This is an example of a confirm box. Look at this. So you enter your name here and submit. What is it saying? Now you are getting a confirm box. This is an example of a confirm box. This also has OK and cancel button like prompt box has. But instead of text field, you will just have a message like you have it in alert box. And when you click on OK or cancel, depending on whether you clicked on OK button or cancel button, so this function, this confirm box is going to return either true or false. If I enter now something here and click on submit, this confirm box appears like this, and it is displaying a message. Do you want to continue? If I click on OK, then this confirm box will return a boolean value true. If I click on cancel, this is going to return false. So based on when I clicked on OK, what is it saying? Welcome Parameshwar. You have chosen to proceed. Your roll number is so. If I don't click, if I don't click anything here, if I click on cancel, you have chosen to quit. Right. So this is what you get when depending on whether you click on OK or cancel. Right. So welcome Parameshwar. You have chosen to proceed. Your roll number is 123. Whatever number you have entered, whatever name and number you have entered, that will be displayed here. So it is our choice whether to display this one or do some other activity. It is our choice. But definitely a confirm box is going to display a message and OK button and cancel button. If you click on OK, then the confirm box will return a truth value. If you click on cancel button, then it will return a false value. So you can use that boolean value that is returned by this confirm box by storing it in a variable. You can use it in an if statement. If the user chooses to click on OK, then the truth value can be used in an if statement to execute a particular block of statement. If you clicks on cancel button, then you can execute another set of statements. So that is what I have done here. So when I click on OK, it is going to display your name and roll number that you entered there. If I click on cancel, then what is it saying? You have chosen to quit. So how did this happen means because of that truth value that is returned by this confirm. Now let us see that program. In the head section, I have written the script function, my script, and in the body section, what I have done is, sorry, in the body section itself, I have done I have used the script. The body section below the script, what I have done is, I created a HTML form. So the name of the form is given as my form, and I am using on submit. Using on submit attribute is equal to I'm calling my script function, right? So whenever you submit this form, automatically this function will be called. When this form will be submitted, when you click on the submit button, so I have a submit button here. So if I click on that submit button, then it then only this function gets executed. So what is that form containing? It contains a text field. So post name attribute value is given as s name, and placeholder is given as your name here. And another text field whose name attribute value is given as s roll number, and placeholder value is given as your roll number here. That is the reason you're getting here the text field here, inside which your name here placeholder is coming, and here your roll number here is coming, right? So after that, we have created a text field. I'm sorry, submit button. Because I didn't use any break tag here and everything, so all these three are appearing in a single line. Two text fields and the submit button, all the three of them are appearing in a single line of your page. Okay, so when you click on submit, what will happen? My script function will be called. So what is my script function doing? This is my script function. So Here, this is the MyScript function, right? So what I am doing here is this MyScript function. Ah, బాబు విజయ్ వర్మ ఎందుకు లేట్ అయింది? అందరూ వస్తారు, నువ్వు టైం చూసుకొని టైంకి జాయిన్ అవ్వాలి. మాకు పనులు ఉన్నాయి, మరి మేము చేసుకోవట్లేదా? టైంకి జాయిన్ అవ్వ, ముందుగా జాయిన్ అయిన తర్వాత నువ్వు కావాలంటే పక్కన డిస్టర్బ్ చేయకు క్లాస్. See your attendance. What is your roll number? H8. So this, you have attended till now only 2 classes. I think this will be the 3rd class. Don't think that we are not maintaining attendance here. So we are maintaining everything in our Excel sheet like this daily. We're taking your, so these are the dates on which we have conducted the classes, and based on whether you're present or absent, you are being marked here, right? So look at, for example, look at the C1 roll number. Out of 12 classes till yesterday, she has appeared up to 11 classes. Only yesterday's class she was absent, I think. And today's attendance, I'm going to mark it here after the class. Fine. So what you are doing here in function MyScript is in the if statement directly. So you all are aware of all these if statements, else statements, and also I'm not dealing them again and again, right? So I don't need. I think you don't need all these things to be explained again and again. You have used them in many programming languages till now. C, Java, Python. Both time you are using for the 4th time here with web technologies. So here directly inside the if statement, what I am doing is I am making a call to the confirm function. What is confirm function going to do? It is going to display a message with this whatever message you give. Do you want to continue? So this is what we are getting. Right? So when I click on submit button, what is the confirm box displaying? A message. Do you want to continue? Right? So this message will be displayed along with this message, an OK button and cancel button. OK button and cancel button will be displayed on the screen. So if you click on OK, so this confirm box is going to return, confirm function is going to return true. If you click on cancel button, this is going to return false. Okay. So based on whether you clicked on OK or cancel, this is either going to become true or false. So if this becomes true, that means if you click on OK, then this if statement will be, if block will be executed. If you click on cancel, then this else block will be executed. So what is else block displaying? Document dot write, you have chosen to quit. Okay. So coming to OK, if you click on OK, this if block gets executed. And what is this if block doing? It is retrieving the 2 values that you entered in the both the text fields. So we represent this entire HTML document with this document object. So this is an object. So we'll discuss about JavaScript objects later. But as of now, for time being, you assume that this is a object, like just like an object-oriented programming language. You have an object for a class. Even in Python and Java, also you have seen them, right? So in the same way, here in JavaScript, you will have something called objects. You don't see classes, but you will have objects directly. Every object will be associated with some properties and functions, just like a class contains variables, instance variables and methods in Python, in object-oriented programming language. Directly here, objects will be associated with variables and functions, but variables here we call them as properties, and functions in Java they are called as methods, and Python also they are called as methods. coming to JavaScript, we simply call them as functions instead of using the method, right? So this is an object. So using this object is going to represent this current HTML document in which you are present. So now this HTML document is represented by this document object, and in that HTML document, you have a form tag with its name attribute value as my form, right? So this is what you have, my form, and for that you have a child tag with name attribute value as name, right? So child tag in the sense whichever tag is present within another tag, we call it as a child tag, and in which tag these tags are present, that tag is called as parent tag. So form is a parent tag, form is the parent tag, and all these three input tags are all child tags for this form tag, right? So just like a tree structure, so from one tree node you have multiple branches, right? Multiple child nodes you have. If it is a binary tree, then you will have at most two childs, right? If it is a normal tree, then you may have more than two childs, one or two or three or whatever it is. In that way, in the same way, you can represent this HTML page also in a tree-like structure, where HTML tag is the root node, and immediately it has two child nodes called head and body, and head has another child node called title, and body has many child nodes like paragraph, h1, h2, h3. All these things you'll be using depending on how you use them. So if you are using immediately inside the body tag, now the script tag will become child tag, and even the form tag also becomes a child tag for body tag. So body is a parent for both script and form, right? And form in turn has three child tags, three input tags, right? So that is how you represent a HTML document in the form of a tree structure. So if that is the case, if you want to refer to any particular tag in your JavaScript program, then what you need to do is we need to use the name attribute for all those tags and give some unique name for all these tags so that you can access the content of those tags directly, right? So I'm using document dot. In that document, I have a form tag called with name attribute value is equal to my form. Then within this my form tag, I have another tag, input tag, with its name attribute value is equal to s name. And if I want to extract the value that the user enters in this text field, then followed by a dot symbol dot, you use a keyword value. So this will retrieve the value entered in the text field and stores it in the variable called name. So yesterday we discussed how to create variables, right? So variables can be created simply by using the keyword var, and once a variable is created like this, any kind of value can be assigned to that variable. It is not necessary that you need to enter only a numeric value or a string value or a floating point value like this. You can assign any kind of value for this variable. So now whatever content is extracted from this text field, this will be by default stored in this name in the form of a string, right? So just like the args array in main method receives everything from the command prompt in the form of a string, and then later we convert it into integer representation or floating point representation, whatever representation it is, we convert into that respective representation. So in the same way here, by default, you will have a string representation of these values that you enter from the text fields of a form or prompt box, whatever it is, right? So in the same way, I'm retrieving from the second text field the s roll number value. So document dot my form dot s roll number. This is my form, and its child node you have s roll number. Right? So document dot my form dot s roll number dot value. So this is going to be stored in roll number variable. Right? So now we have extracted both the name and roll number values from the form and stored them in these two variables, name and roll number respectively. Later what I am doing is using a document dot write, I am displaying, right? What is this? Welcome concatenated with name. So whatever name you enter there in that form, so that name will be displayed here, right? And after that again I'm concatenating it with, I have chosen to proceed, and a break tag is inserted so that the next content will be displayed in the new line. Then using another document dot write, using your roll number is concatenated with the value of roll number variable, right? So this is if block. So when this if block gets executed, when you click on OK button in the confirm box, and what is the confirm box displaying on the screen? It is displaying a message, do you want to continue, and an OK button and cancel button below this message. If you click on OK, this block will be executed. If you click on cancel, then this else block, which has only one statement, this gets executed. So with that, the script completes, and that is how you're getting this out, right? So the VIP Varma, his name is Varma and roll number is 5HA. So if I click on OK, it is displaying welcome Varma, you have chosen to proceed, your roll number is 5HA, right? Now, for example, I want this Varma, don't want this Varma to admit into my class. So what I have to do, I have to write a message here like this. Sorry, you are late for the class. Be in time for the next class, right? Now let me refresh this page. Click on cancel. Sorry, you're late for the class. Be in time for the next class. Whatever message I give there, that message will be displayed here, right? If say, for example, tomorrow Varma is going to be in time for next class, then he is going to get a message like this. Welcome Varma, you have chosen to proceed. Your roll number is 5H, right? Fine. So I hope you understood how to use this confirm box. So with that, we'll complete all the three pop-up boxes: alert box, prompt box, and confirm box. So depending on the situation, you're going to use any of these things. Sometimes all the three things, sometimes only two, sometimes only one. Yesterday we have used alert box, right? Today we have used confirm box, and yesterday's class also we have used prompt boxes also. So try writing these programs instead of using the HTML form, creating a HTML form. Simply create a button here, and whenever you click on this button, this JavaScript gets executed. And in this JavaScript, you're going to use a prompt box. So when you use a prompt box, you can take the values from the keyboard directly, student's name and roll number. Then uh, alert a confirm box. When you click on a OK button, it must display his name and roll number. When you click on cancel button, it must display some sorry kind of a message, right? So in that way, also try to modify this program and write it and practice. So it is clear, right? So for all of you, this alert pop-up boxes are clear for you. I hope. This is prompt box. Yesterday we have seen this is a prompt box. Now, let me know whether you have any doubts. If you don't have any doubts, I can go ahead with the next topic, that is arrays. So we have seen how to create variables, right? So variable creation is simple. So we'll see arrays. How to use arrays in JavaScript. Any doubt? So మౌనం అర్ధంగీకారం అంటారు. So I'm considering there are no doubts. Vijay Varma, you came late but you don't have any doubts. When you don't understand anything else, you will not have any doubts. So except Varma, anybody else want to respond, you can respond. Hi Krishna, Rachel Pandey. Okay, fine. Arun Venkatesh. Okay, so now let us see how to create arrays in JavaScript. So I'm not going to tell you the definition of arrays and what its usage is because you have learned it in many languages. Right? In Java you have seen, in C language also you have seen, and you have used these arrays extensively for implementing data structures like stacks and queues, data structures also, right? So let us not discuss about what is an array, what are its advantages and disadvantages, and how to use these arrays in JavaScript, how to create these arrays in JavaScript. That you're going to see. So there are two ways in which you can create arrays in JavaScript. One way is using simple syntax which is similar to C language. So if you want to create an array, directly create using a var keyword, give a name for array, and you can use a is equal to the name of the array is a, and if you open these square brackets and close them, then this is going to create an empty array. You need not mention the size of that array. You can directly uh, create an array like this, just like you do as in Python to create lists. So you know how to create a blank list in Python, right? So the same way you can create a blank array like this here in JavaScript. This way. If you don't want to leave it blank, you can assign values, say 1, comma 2, comma 3 like this, separating them by comma, comma delimiters like this. So this automatically creates an array with size 3 and containing 3 integer values 1, 2, 3. So if you want to create an array containing characters, so you can use characters instead like this, but enclose these characters in single quote, specify that they are characters. Okay. So if you want to use strings instead, you can also use strings, but instead of single quotes, you have to use double quotes. If you in double quote, then this will become string, right? So first, let us not use these characters and strings. Strings can be dealt separately and create arrays of characters and numerical values. If you want to use numerical values, just separate them with 1, comma 2, comma 3 like this. Right? So this is going to create an array. This is one way of creating an array. Another way is this will be similar to Java arrays. So you have to use var a is equal to, there is an operator called new operator which you might have seen already in Java. So the same new operator you can use it in JavaScript also. And you have a object called array object, a predefined object called array object, uh, which starts with capital letter A. Just like the naming convention in Java, all the classes will have capital letters beginning with capital letters, and methods will be in camel case letters, right? So this is uh, object. So for this object, just like classes in Java has constructors, these objects also will have constructors. You have to use this constructor array like this, and in this array constructor, you can mention all the elements that you want to store. 1, comma 2, comma 3 like this you can mention. So this is going to create an array A with 3 elements 1, comma 2, comma 3 like this. These are the two ways in which you can create arrays in JavaScript. Let us see both these ways and how to use both these ways to create arrays in our JavaScript programs and use them. Let us begin with a simple program, simple array. Look at this program. So I didn't write any HTML tags here in the body section. Just in the head section, I have written a script. The script, how it is going to be executed, when it is going to be executed. The question is for Vishnuvardhan. Vishnuvardhan, can you please respond? So when this script is going to be executed, I want response from Vishnu. Vishnuvardhan. Is he there? Some people are leaving the class now. Maybe they're thinking that I may randomly call their number and ask a question. So that's the reason some people are leaving, I think. Vishnu is there or not? So I'm going to mark absent for Vishnuvardhan then. So let me mark absent for Vishnuvardhan because he is not there in the class. Right. So how when the script is going to be executed, because you didn't write the script code inside any function definition, automatically when this page is loaded into the browser, the script gets executed. But when you write the script inside a function, when that code will be executed, only when an event occurs or in the script itself, if you are making a call to that function, then the code inside that JavaScript function gets executed. This is what we discussed yesterday, right? So So this script gets executed automatically when you load this page. And what is that we are doing in this script is we are creating one variable I. Then after that another variable A, which is an array. So this array is created empty. It doesn't have any elements as when it is created. Then after that I am using a for loop. And using for loop I am reading how many elements. The loop is beginning with I value as 0, hence till 3. So what will be the size of this array? 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. So totally 4 iterations will take place. So this for loop is going to read 4 different integer values and store them in the array A, right? So how I am storing them in that array A? Look at how I am mentioning the index of that array, A of I. When I value is 0, this will become A of 0. When I is 1, this becomes A of 1. When I is 2, it becomes A of 2. When I is 3, A of 3. So each time the loop is repeated, the prompt box gets executed. And what is this prompt box going to read? Enter value concatenated with I plus 1. What is I value? 0, 0 plus 1. So that means enter value 1. This will be displaying a message above the prompt box, above the text field in the prompt box. Enter value 1. Right? Then when you enter some value and click on OK, that value will be returned and stored in that A of I. That is A of 0. The next iteration I becomes 1. A of 1 will be prompt enter value 1 plus 1 is 2. So enter value 2. Then the second value gets stored in A of 1. Then in the next iteration enter value 3. Third value gets stored in A of 2. Enter value 4. Fourth value gets stored in A of 3. So see that you click on OK button. Don't click on cancel button because this is a prompt box. If you click on OK, then this is going to return the value that you entered in that prompt box. But if you click on cancel, what is this going to return? It is going to return a null value, right? So make sure that you click on OK, right? Fine. Then after storing all the 4 values in this array, then I am displaying the same 4 values that are there that are stored in this array A by using another for loop and document.write values, right? So what is this going to do? Let me run this program. So array. So soon after the page is loaded, the JavaScript gets executed and the For loop begins and prompt box will prompt you to enter. So what is this message here? Enter value 1. Okay. So now if I enter say value 9 and click on OK, so first value gets stored in the first index of the array. Now it is asking me to enter value 2. I'm entering 5 and click OK. Then next 3, next say 8. What are the values you entered? 9, 5, 3. This is how you can read elements into an array from the prompt box. So if you don't want to enter the values from the prompt box, you can put this in comment that this doesn't get executed. So I'll give this 9 comma 5 comma 3 comma 8 here. When I declare the array, there itself I'm initializing the array with these 4 elements. Run this. If I run the program, I'll get the same because already the values are given. No prompt box will be coming. Directly the values are displayed like this. If I give different values, say instead of 9, 5, 3, 8, let me give comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. Notice the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So once you create arrays like this, you can perform any kind of operation that you normally perform on arrays in C and Java. You can create an array, perform sum of all the elements in an array. But remember that even though they are displayed as 1, 2, 3, 4 in the numerical as numerical values, but they are not stored in the memory in the form of an integer representation. Instead, they are stored in the form of a string. So if you want to perform any computations on these values, you need to use that parseInt function that we used yesterday. ParseInt function. So then only this array will become a numerical array, right? So to do that, what we have to do is we have to use parseInt function like this. Right? So now they are represented in integer format. Now you can perform any operation on these values. Earlier, because I didn't use this parseInt function here, so even though we can display them as 1, 2, 3, 4, they are not actually stored in the form of strings. In the form of integers. Instead, they are stored in the form of strings. Right? So you'll not be able to perform any arithmetic operation on those values stored in that array earlier. Now, because we use parseInt function to convert them into integer representation, now you will be able to perform that operation. Okay, so this is how you create a single dimensional arrays. You can also create two dimensional arrays. So the difference is instead of giving instead of opening only one square bracket and closing it, you have to open both the square brackets and close them. So let me also show you. Right. Look at the two-dimensional arrays. So to create a two-dimensional array, what I have done is you look at I open the square bracket and close the square bracket once, and inside that mention the first row of that matrix or two-dimensional array. So I have to again open square brackets, and within the square brackets I have to mention the first row elements. And after that, give a comma, then mention the second row elements. Yes. So this is how you need. Let me run this program and show it to you. right? So this is the script is automatically executed. Example of a two-dimensional array, and it is displaying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3 in the first row and 3, 4, 5 in the second row. So this is how you create two-dimensional arrays without using the new operator. So the next line, what I'm doing, document dot write, displaying a message example of a two-dimensional array, and a break tag is used so that the next content will be displayed in the next line. And using a for loop, you know how to display values or elements of a matrix, right? Two-dimensional array. So we will use two for loops. This is outer for loop. The size of the row is 3. So the first dimension will be 3. For I equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus I've given. Then for, sorry, this is 3. For where j equal to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus, document dot write of ij concatenated with a space. So you might have observed the output. There is a space between 1, 2, and 2 and 3 also. So if you want to get that space, you use this blank, open the double quote and give a blank space and then close the double quote. And after the first row elements are displayed, once you come out of the inner for loop, use one more document dot write to give a break tag so that the next row elements will be displayed in the second row. Right. So that is how you're getting 3, 4, 5 in the second row. So this is simple two-dimensional arrays. So let me also show you the 2D arrays. This is another example of 2D arrays, but this is created using a new operator. So how this two-dimensional array is created, where a is equal to new operator and array function is open and the parenthesis is open and parenthesis is closed here with semicolon. Inside this, to create first row, again you have to use new operator and array function like this. So this is first row elements. So after that is completed, give a comma and mention the second row elements again. New array function, array constructor, whatever values you want to have in the second row, you mention those values for, right. So after that, simply I'm displaying the same message as in the previous program, example of a two-dimensional array, and using the same for loop, displaying the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same program written using two different ways. This is using array constructor and new operator. So this is, you have to say creation of array using new operator and creation of array without new operator. So the first way is creating array without new operator. Second way is creating array with new operator. So in this way, you can create arrays of any dimensions, 3 dimension, 4 dimension. If you want to create another dimension, again inside this array, you have to create one more time how many columns you want, how many dimensions you want to have in that one. So that many elements you can create inside that. That is not suggested. Use only up to 2-dimensional arrays. Then let me also show you some other example programs. So now look at this. This is a character array, a two-dimensional character array. So a square bracket is opened here and closed here with semicolon ending. That this is first row of characters, again mentioned in square brackets. Each character is mentioned in single quote. And all the characters are separated by a comma delimiter. And after the first row is completed, then give a comma delimiter and use the second row again in square brackets. Okay, so this is how you create character arrays. So to display them, we have used the same concept again here. Then so now look at this one. This is array of strings. So if you want to store instead of single numerical value or single character, instead of that you want to store strings, then a is equal to, just like you do it in Python lists. Right? Open the square bracket, the double quotes, you mention the first string, then give a comma, again second string, give a comma, third string. All the strings must be enclosed in double quotes. After that, I am displaying a message example of array of strings. Using a for loop, I am looping through all the strings in that array. So when I say a of 0, it represents Hyderabad. A of 1 represents Bangalore. A of 2 represents Chennai. After displaying each string, I am using a break tag so that the next string will be displayed in the new line. Right? And then, so this is a single character array, single dimensional character array. Already we have seen that. So this is sum of arrays. So two arrays are created here, A and B arrays. A contains 268, B contains 159. If you want to add these two arrays, that is the corresponding elements of these two arrays, that means 2 and 1 must be added, 6 and 5 must be added, 8 and 9 must be added. Right? So the resulting array must be stored in a new array. So I created a loop control variable I and then another array, empty array C. So this is left empty. We are going to store the result of sum of corresponding elements of these two arrays, A and B, in C. So 2 plus 1 is 3, 6 plus 5 is 11, 8 plus 9 is 17. So 3, 11, 17 must be the output. B, right? So what I have done is use the for loop for I equal to 0, I less than, because I don't know the length of that array. Just like you use this property in Java to find the length of an array, you can use this property here also in JavaScript. Mention the name of the array dot length. So this is going to return the length of the array. That means how many elements are there. So what is the length of the array here in A? 3 will be replaced by this. So the loop repeats for I equal to 0, 1 and 2 3 times. So during each iteration, what I am doing is A of I is equal to A of I plus B of I. So corresponding values of A and B will be added and stored in corresponding index of C. So A of 0 and B of 0 are added and stored in C of 0. A of 1 and B of 1 are added and stored in C of 1. A of 2 and B of 2 are added and stored in C of 2. Then after that, using a document dot write, I am displaying this C followed by a square bracket. Then after that, for loop is created. I am taking the length of that array C as a condition, starting from I value 0. Iterate this loop for as many times as there are elements in this C, that is 3. Now what I am doing is I am displaying document dot write C of I. C of 0 will be displayed first. After that, some space will be left, and this will repeat for how many times? 3 times, as many times as there are arrays. So first it will display C of 0, then it will display C of 1, then it will display C of 2. After the iterations are completed, then you will come out of the for loop and there is closing square bracket. So that is the reason you are getting C 3, 11, 7. Instead, if you want to display it with a comma, then after this C of 5, instead of using a blank space, give a comma here. So what is this going to do is, after every element, this is going to display a comma. So after the third element also, you get a comma. 3, comma, 11, comma, 17, comma. So what you have to do if you don't want to get comma here? The third element. You can write a condition here. If or if I equal to p dot length minus 1. What is the meaning of this one? When I equal to 0, this condition will be checked. 0 is equal to c dot length. What is c dot length? C dot length is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So if I value is equal to 2, then only this statement will be executed, right? So where to put this comment here? Where to put this condition statement? After document dot write c of 5 plus, don't use this comma here. Third, use another document dot write. Comma here. For this, okay. Right. So after the value is displayed by this document dot write, this document dot write will print the comma. So when this comma will be printed, let us not use equal to, let us use not equal. If I not equal to c dot length minus 1, then this comma will be printed. So when I is equal to 0, after printing c of I, first value will be printed, c of 0 will be printed. And after that, we are going to check whether I value is not equal to c of length minus 1. So what is I value? 0. C length minus 1 is both are not equal. The condition is true. So this document dot write gets executed and the comma gets displayed. And in the next iteration, I becomes 1. C of 1 will be displayed. Again, I value is 1. 1 not equal to 2 is 2. Right? So this document dot write gets executed and it will display a comma. Next iteration, I value becomes 2. Right? Display C of 2. After displaying C of 2, because 2 not equal to 2 is false, so this document dot write will not be executed. As a result, comma will not be. Right? You are able to see it. No comma appears after 17. So this is how you have to use how to construct a logic. Fine. Now that we have completed arrays, we have completed pop-up boxes and arrays today. So in the next class, we are going to see some other topics, new topics. Meanwhile, you take a task. I want you to yesterday we have seen this program, right? 4 forms are created. First form, perfect number, second form for Armstrong, third form for factorial, and fourth form for even or odd numbers. I want you to display these four different forms in four different divisions. Use CSS, create four divisions with four different background colors. Four different background colors. So I've shown you in the previous class. Four divisions are created using CSS. Let me show you now that one. So now look at this. Okay. Four divisions are created, right? This is first division, this is second division, third division, fourth. So use CSS to create divisions like this. The first division, I want you to display the first form program. That is this one. So first one, this must be displayed. The perfect number program must be displayed in this first division. In the second division, Armstrong. Third division, factorial, and in fourth division, even odd numbers. Right. So create a program using both CSS and JavaScript. When you want to perform some operation related to factorial, then you have to use that particular division. Instead of writing a program for finding whether a given number is even or odd, write a program for listing out. When you enter a number, say 10, up to 10, how many even numbers are there? All those even numbers must be displayed, and all those odd numbers must be displayed separately. Similarly, instead of writing program for factorial, write a program for listing out all the prime numbers up to 10. So if I enter 10, up to 10, how many prime numbers are there? All those prime numbers must be displayed on the screen, right? So this is a task for the next class, that is on Thursday. So if you complete this task, uh, upload it to my Google Drive. So already I've given that Google Drive link to you, right? So in your respective folders, everyone is having a folder, right? You have not create that folder, and inside that folder you mention these programs are related to which topic, JavaScript or HTML or CSS. Create folders that way. Those folders you can save your assignments, the tabs. Okay, so do that for the next class. The next class we are going to see a new topic. So all of you, if you have already texted your roll numbers, that is okay, fine. But if you have not texted, you text your roll numbers, and any questions also, queries also you can ask. After that you can do it.